Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to integrate a Provely widget notification onto your website. So the first thing you're going to do is click on New Notification. You're going to give it a name. So let's just say that I want to generate more signups to my webinar. So I'm going to say webinar registration, and then I'm going to put in the domain that it's going to be on. So I'm just going to put that in. Click create, and then it's going to send you into the wizard. So now you can see we have a whole bunch of different notifications. We're going to be adding more in the future. So maybe when you're watching this video, there will be actually more, but depending on what your goal is, you're going to choose which notification you want. So if you want to have a live conversion, so when someone signs up for, for an opt-in form, or when someone purchases, you'll use the live conversion. We also have integrations with third-party rating services. So if you want to pull in those ratings and reviews from Google, from Facebook, from Capterra, you're able to do that. We also have the ability to show the number of visitors onto on a certain page or on your website that are currently browsing. We also have an announcement. So if you want people to opt into an ebook or anything that you want to kind of highlight, you can use our announcement notification. Then we also have a countdown timer. So if you have a time-sensitive offer, maybe you're running a special during a holiday, you're able to highlight that. Then we have our social notification widget. So this is if you want to generate more Facebook followers or Twitter followers or Instagram followers or LinkedIn, you're able to highlight your social media properties. Then we also have coupons. So maybe you have a time-sensitive coupon. You want them to be able to apply it. This is great for maybe people who have come to the page a couple times, haven't converted. You're able to use that coupon. Then we have our video notification. So you're able to embed a Vimeo or YouTube video right onto your widget and have it display at a certain time. Then we have our opt-in. So if you want to build your newsletter or your email list, you're able to use that notification. Then we also have this chat widget. So this can be a simulated chat where the goal is to capture their phone number. So maybe you're doing some sort of sales, or you want to follow up with them via phone. You're able to capture their phone number and be able to follow up with them. Then we also have the inline notification. So this would be just pure text. You're able to embed it right into your page. So maybe you're trying to sell hotel rooms, or you have a certain number of vehicles on the lot that you need to sell, and you could say, there are X number of vehicles left, right? Or there are 3 hotel rooms left at this price. So there's lots of different ways that you can utilize Provely notifications depending on what your goals are. For this demo, I'm just going to use the live conversion, which is what most people use. But again, there are lots of different options. So once you've done that, we're just confirming the domain that it's going to live on. And then we have lots of different display options as well as audio options. And so we're going to run through those. So the first thing is, do I want to show the map thumbnail? Do I want to do a custom avatar? Do I want to add a custom image? Right here, you're able to do that. Maybe you want to use your logo or an icon. You're able to do that. And then we have lots of different theme settings. So you can choose from one of our pre-built, pre-designed themes, lots of different options to choose from. I'm just going to go ahead and use this one. Then you can choose what you want your location format to be. Do I want it to be just the city? Do I want it to be the country? Do I want to show the city and the country? Do I want to show the timestamp? Do I want to display real names or not? Do I want to show an avatar or not? Then you can also add sound effects as well. So you could have different sound effects that just kind of give that audible alert to your visitor or customer to just kind of say, hey, pay attention to this notification. We also have the animation effects. So you can use bounce effects or flash effects. We have lots of different ones that you can choose. And then you could also add some custom CSS. So if you want to have it match, your branding, maybe you have a certain font or a certain type of design that you want to have this widget, you can use custom CSS and you can add it right into there. Then you have your message. We can say like live webinar coming this Thursday, right? And then you could have your font weight. You could have your font size. You can choose what font family you want, message positioning, and then what text you want. So this is the text that's going to show, recently signed up for a 14-day free trial. So I could say recently signed up for the upcoming webinar, right? And then I could change the text color if I want to as well. So let's just say I want to go with the purple. And now we're going to do the actual widget itself. So if I want to add a border, I can do that. So I could do something like this, and I could add that. So here's my colors, and maybe I want to do an orange border, and I could change the radius if I wanted to. I could add a gradient, I could add a background color, so I can change all the different elements that are on the widget notification. Now let's talk about display settings. So do I want it to show up on the desktop versus a tablet versus mobile? So one thing that you may find kind of annoying is when you're on a mobile device, obviously the phone is much smaller than your desktop browser. And it can take up a lot of real estate on someone's phone. So what you may want to do is turn it off for mobile notifications and only have it show up on your desktop and tablet. So you have that control. And you also have the control as to where it's going to show on the browser itself. So do I want it bottom left, bottom right, top left, top right? You're able to do that. Then you could choose when should it display. So you can set a delay. So once the person lands on the page, do I want to show it 5 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, a minute after they have been on the page? Then the display frequency. So how often should it display? Should it show up every 5 seconds? Should it show up every 10 seconds? So it'll rotate through each of the different opt-ins or whatever the goal is for that notification. Notifications per user session. So you do have the ability to limit the number of times that the notification is displaying. So you could have no limit, or you can set a custom limit. So maybe I only want it to show 5 or 10 times, and maybe after a certain number of times, it may get a bit intrusive to the customer or visitor. Then you can have the date range. So do I want to only display opt-ins or customers or leads from the last 30 days, the last hour? And then do I want it to only show up after there's a certain number of visitors? So maybe you don't want to have, if there's only one person that's opted in so far, maybe you don't want it to show up. But once you have 3, 5, 10, then you can have it start to rotate through, and it shows, it starts to inject that scarcity and that kind of fear missing out, right? Then you have the country display. So maybe you cater to only people in the US or people in Canada or Europe. You're able to select which countries you want to display. And then also, do I want it to display on all pages? So I could either have it display on one page, I could have it display on all pages. It's completely up to you. And then if you have upgraded to our agency edition, you're able to remove the branding from the widget. So it'll allow you to remove the verified or powered by Provely. So you can remove that as well. Now let's talk about the data source and integration. So we have a lot of different ways we can pull in data into your notification. So the first one, and probably what's used most often, is the web capture or action. So this is a little piece of script you add to your page, and we can automatically recognize when someone is filling out a form. So regardless of if you're using, WordPress, or using maybe a plugin, or you're using Wix or ClickFunnels or some page builder, you can add this form to your or add this script onto your page, and we're automatically going to be able to recognize the from name as well as the from email address, and then be able to display that onto your notifications. We also have an API. So if you want to utilize our API in some sort of custom integration, you're able to do that. And we also have webhooks. So we have some limited number of webhook integrations with things like Pay Kickstart, ClickFunnels, Shopify, but we're adding more as we move forward. And so whenever a webhook is fired, it can get sent over into Provely, and it'll be able to add them to the notifications. And then the last part is the embed. So you're going to have just a simple script that you'll add to the body tag of your page. And this is just going to allow it to display the notification onto your page. Okay. So once I've done that, all I need to do is click publish, and it's going to add it. Let me just go ahead and click here. And it's going to add it on, it's going to then display onto your page. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over, and I'm going to add the scripts, and I'll show you how it displays on the page. Okay, so for this example, I'm just going to use WordPress. I actually installed a plugin called Header and Footer, so it allows me to add JavaScript into a certain page. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say webinar reg for Provely. And this is a JavaScript code. And instead of site-wide, I'm going to actually select the specific page that I want to add this to. So I'm going to first add in the tracking script, and then I'm going to add in the display script. So that's been copied, and now I'm going to add that. So now I want to make sure that it's after content. So this is going to add it at the bottom of the page. So these are the two pieces of script. So the first one is, again, just being able to capture the user's information. And then the second one is displaying the actual notification onto the page. So I'm going to save it. And now I'm going to go over to my page. Okay. And so here's my webinar opt-in page. And I'm just going to put in a name. I'm just going to use first name for now. And then I'm going to put in a email address. Okay. And I'm going to click on register. All right. Then it shows my, my thank you page. And so now what I can do is go back over to Provely, and I can see in the activity manager that I just had that opt-in. So it shows the opt-in, shows the IP address, shows the email address, and when it happened. So now when I go back over to my webinar registration page, so as you can see, just here a second, there it goes. Now the pop-up is showing the notifications, and it's really just that simple to add Provely to your site.